Hi everyone. Hopefully everyone's doing well. And today I would love to talk about that I'm sure everyone is being affected by is stress. And stress, oh boy, it does a number to the body. I could tell you about my stresses, but woo, it would blow the roof. But I've learned to manage it because the mind is so powerful. And why is the mind so powerful? Because it will take what it's been programmed to do. So, you know what? When we're being brought up, we start off as children, of course, first, and we get used to patterns of how and why and where and whatever it will be on how to handle this, even when we're children, because we're saying, what is this? What do I deal with this? And it can really do a number on you. So, what do we want to do? What we want to do is, first of all, we have to get ourselves centered. And when we get ourselves centered and focused, and start to question, like, what is actually going on? You know, we're such emotional thinkers, not logical thinkers. We need to get more into being more logical. And when I'm saying that is because when you are thinking logically, you can think straight. And when you can think straight, you can make better ways of doing things on how to handle things and knowing how to solve it. Isn't the thing is behind when we do have a problem is to solve it? What we do is we put all this energy into worrying. You know, we need to learn more about to surrender to it. To surrender to whatever is happening and then put things into play and planning and solving. How else, you know, for a lot of people who are spiritual and they talk about the ascension symptoms, isn't it about enlightenment? Isn't it about bliss and happiness? We could go around walking around and smiling all we want. But what are we feeling inside ourselves? Are we really happy? And if we are happy, can we go to the next level? This is a big question that you want to ask yourself. Because you live everyday life knowing and understanding you're going to have conflicts. You're going to have dilemmas. There's going to be confusion. There's going to be distortion. There's going to be so much going on. That's why people develop insomnia even as they grow up. Even some of them have it when we're kids. And then what do we do with this? We don't know what to really do that much so much when we're a kid. But we get to the stage of our life is, how do I handle this? But the big word, well, two big words is stress. The next word is, right next to it, equals, let's surrender to it. I'm not telling you not to resolve it, but you want to put things into play. You want to nip it in the bud before it grows. It's like planting a plant. You first start off with the seeds, right? You put it into the ground, you water it, and then it grows into a plant. Well, the stress is the same way. The plant could bloom and blossom and be the most beautiful, beautiful plant that you ever seen. But if we do not change our patterns in the way we're thinking and believing, it's almost like living in a nightmare because we go into this vicious cycle of thinking over and over and over again the same thing. And when do we want to feel different? And what I mean feel different is to feel happy. Trust me when I say this, I work on myself a lot. And when all these spiritual changes are going on and these energies are intense, they just want to come out of us. That's why we're feeling so off. And Spirit wants us to grow, evolve, and ascend. But part of the ascension, the really good part of the ascension, it's about being in peace. Love yourself and love others. And how do we work all that out? We need to get more control of our minds. Because the only way we're going to be in a better place is through work that I do is reprogramming work. And reprogramming work puts you in a different state of being. Learning that you control your mind does not control you. And do not allow your mind to control you. Even when something's not happening your way, think of the opposite way of thinking. Even though it's not happening, we want to nip it in the bud right away. Because if this plan grows in a negative way, then it affects our lives. And we keep on repeating patterns that are not healthy for us. Doesn't that affect us mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually? You know, for me, who's a vegan, that I eat really well, I actually really improved in the way how I ate, from before. Sugar could do a number on you, on your emotions, and that could cause stress. Affected me mentally and emotionally, even physically, and even spiritually. For us to feel good and at its best, to reduce the stress and get it under control, eating better would really help. We need to eat like raw foods that most of us want to eat more cooked food, and it's okay. But to raise your vibration, eat those fruits and vegetables that will raise your vibration, and that will also reduce the stress on the body. Besides the diet, how about our mindset? We want to put it into play that we're starting to control it. Because if we do not control it, then how in our life will ever anything change? How will it change? And that's what you have to ask yourself over and over again. When will it change? I got an old saying, when you get sick of suffering, then you'll change. And you know what? Most of us, hopefully, praying to God, we live a healthy life. But let's make every day our last day, like if we were on the earth. How would we want to really fulfill it? And how do we want to feel? Because our minds are very powerful. And if we do not know how the mind works, no one knows how the mind works 100%. I'm not no brain doctor here to go into the brain, all parts of the brain. I mean, I know it from anatomy, but that's not the point. The point is the heart and the mind. Not only do they work together, I learned this from a seminar, it's really interesting, that the heart works just like the brain. And when we raise our frequencies, our energy field grows and grows. And not only does it affect us, the way we feel and believe, but we're affecting the masses, we're affecting the universe, the galaxies, the cosmos. And when that happens, a lot of people are not aware how we go through healing, because when there's love and light in the atmosphere, that helps us heal. It also supports us. If we feel kind of funky stuff out into the atmosphere and we feel within us, we know we have to detox energetically, and we know other people are hurting too, and they're feeling this, and they don't like this, and they are feeling so off, energetically, and it's affecting us physically, mentally, and emotionally. Then how do we put this into play? Now, I could keep on going in circles and circles with this. But this is our time, this is an opportunity to really feel our best and to enjoy our life. And if we allow the stress to control us, it affects us, like I mentioned to you, in so many ways. So let's get on top of our mind and to take control of it. Yes, I know I mentioned before about diet. Not saying everyone should be a vegan like I am, but eating better helps with your energies, reduces the stress, but it's also the mindset. Surrender to it, work through it, and resolve it. Remember, be an intellectual thinker, not as much of an emotional thinker. Yes, the emotions will come into place. Yes, it will affect us to a certain point. But you will see the difference on how you feel, think, and believe. And I would not be surprised if you even sleep better. Because when you sleep better, you'll feel better. I know some people have lack of sleep. They have, they have so much anxiety. And I was one of them. and I really learned to become a happier person and fulfill my needs like anything else. Any kind of stress comes in my life now, I'll be honest with you, I think of the opposite way of thinking and feeling and believing, and what will be, will be. Because a lot of times we don't have control of it. So if we don't have control of it, by you stressing yourself out, what is that accomplishing? Sometimes I make a joke with my clients and say to them, boy, of all things, if we got so stressed out, my God, we don't even get paid for it. What do we get for it? What? I mean, question yourself that. What do we get for it as a reward for stressing ourselves out? Yes, all stresses can be controlled, and sometimes, believe it or not, some bad stress, some, they say, is good for the body. Just some, minimize stress. But overall, there's good stress too that can feel like bad stress. But everything needs to be handled in a certain way. And by getting on top of it, not only will you fulfill your life of happiness, but you'll feel in your heart that you have more things under control. Even when you don't feel like it's under control, you do, because you have control within yourself. And ways you have control and manifesting your future. And I know some people may not understand this, but at times we are actually manifesting our own future by the way we're thinking. So keep that in mind. So can we change within us? Absolutely. In ways can we change on the outside of us? Not all the time, but most of the time, yes. And whatever we do, we make the best out of it, we resolve it, and we go to the next one. And think of our life as part of our journey to enjoy, even though sometimes we take it as a hardship. Even when it comes to a grief, when you lost a loved one, that I know it's very hard. I'm not telling you just to make anything out of it. Yes, it's a loved one that you've lost. Of course it's hard, and you're going to grieve, and you're going to have sadness, and you're going to have stress over it. It's normal. But then eventually we have to put our feet back on the ground and to move forward. Because if we learn how to capture things as they come, we'll learn to master our mind. Even scientists today still don't know a lot about the mind. They know a lot, but they still don't know a lot because they're still learning themselves. No one knows 100% of the mind. You know, Einstein said something in his writings that I found very interesting. He said, it will take thousands and thousands of years for men and women on this earth, and I added women because I wanted women to be involved in this, because a lot of times man will say man. Well, I don't like that. I like man, women, and whoever else is going to be affected by this. Let me put it that way. He said, one thing we'll never really accomplish, and if it will be, it'll be thousands and thousands of years. And you know what that is? Unconditional love. Think about it. We know how to love. And we know kind of how to love to unconditionally, but are we really there yet? To fulfill it and go all the way. And to feel that total fulfillment. We are to a certain point, but have we really totally accomplished it? And that's what Einstein was saying. So when we go through our life, thinking about, look at all the things I worried about. Isn't that a shame that I spent almost all my life worrying and stressing out? I used to be the biggest worrywart around. I worried about every little thing. I still do to a certain point, and I got more and more control of it because I learned how to master the mind. And when you learn to master the mind and you don't let that plant grow, only a good plan, not a bad plan. You wouldn't take a bad plan from a nursery. You would take a good plan, right? Think of it as stress. You want good things in your life. You want to bring home that good plan, not the bad plan. Well, think of it now as your mind. You want positive thinking, not negative thinking. If it slips up, you're human, it's okay. You're allowed to slip up. Sometimes we go a little backwards to go forward. But believe it or not, when we are going backwards to go forward, we're really moving forward. It just feels like we're going backwards because that's how we grow and evolve. And, you know, through my sessions, I've really, and I've done a lot of study for years on how the mind works. And still, I don't know all the answers. I am no scientist. But I can tell you I've seen great improvement in my clients. And anyone, you know, that needs my help, I can really help you with this. I am a spiritual advisor. I'm a spiritual coach. And, you know, and please, you know, email me. If you want a book a session, I could help you further with that. And it's marchealingarts.com. So it's M-A-R-C, not M-A-R-K. marchealingarts.com. Just email me and we'll get you booked and I could help you with it. You know, it's up to you. Because I always say to my clients, I'm here to help you if you want my help. But I know I struggled this for years and years and years. And then I learned to start to master it. I'm still learning from it. But I learned to master it. To fulfill it. Not worry about what everyone else is doing. I send love to them. I'm there for them. But more is center myself on my own love and happiness. And I can't always go around making everyone happy. But I can give them the support and love. My father used to say, you can love people and you can support them, but you can't change them. And that was a hard concept. I was hoping, I want everyone to be happy. I want to change everyone. You know, even when I first started doing my work. And I said, that's impossible. I can't change people. I can love and support them, be by their side, but it has to come from within them. I can hold your hand to a certain point, but you got to do the work as well. Because stress, oh my God, it could do a number on you. As you probably already know, how many days, question it, how many days did you feel that you were drained because of stress? How many days did you feel that when you woke up in the morning, you were already drained and you just woke up? So keep in mind that things can change over only if you want them to. My old saying is, once you get sick of suffering, then you'll change. Not saying everyone's suffering, but you know, when we deal with stress, you could suffer to a certain point. So keep that in mind. Again, my website is marchealingarts.com, and that's spelled M-A-R-C, if you want my help. I'll see everyone next time. Please be safe, and blessings and love to you, from me to you. Blessings and love.